So, in case people are watching this before they see the other one, you've never seen James Bond movies before.
No.
But you've watched Casino Royale.
I have.
Now you've watched this one.
Yeah.
Do you know what the name of this one is?
Skyfall is the third one.
That is correct.
This one was about a desert royale.
Desert Royale. No, this one is called Quantum of Solace.
Gotcha.
Which is never said in the movie. It's one of the only... I own over 1,000 movies, and it's one of the few that starts with Q. That's all I got. So, we've done a video on Casino Royale, where we talk about her perceptions of James Bond as someone that's never seen a James Bond film. So watch that if you haven't yet. Big three. Cars, girls, gadgets.
Cars, girls, gadgets.
How did this movie do?
Well, it still didn't have a lot of gadgets. It didn't have, any cars in it. There was, one, maybe two. That weren't,
I'm trying to remember, so we watched
the
this...
Volkswagen Beetle was pretty dang neat, if I must say. No, it wasn't.
We watched this in 2 sittings. We started it right after we had finished Casino Royale. We both got very tired. So we stopped, and then we finished the last half hour tonight. I think there were some cars, the scenes early on.
Yeah.
And there was a boat chase.
There was a boat chase, I remember that.
So it had some cars. Were there any gadgets? Because the first one, it was like the PDA, which isn't really a gadget, but kind of.
Might have been considered a gadget
Were
at
there
the time.
any gadgets in this? I don't remember any gadgets. And then also...
I don't think there were any gadgets.
My last note that I wrote down was, can't have him not get with the girl, because the Bond girl in this movie, it's not a romantic interest at all. And then in the last scene of the movie, it's like they were like, oh crap, we haven't had him kiss a girl yet in this movie. Quick, do it now. Even though that's not what either of them are after. It doesn't make sense. It felt very weird. And there's a second girl in this that he also doesn't really get with. So, that's fine. I'm not saying he's got to get with every girl in the movie.
See, my perception of this movie was James Bond trying to get over the fact that he has feelings.
Right.
He's like, I have feelings, but I don't want to say that I have feelings. So I'm going to pretend like they're not there. It's James Bond being...
It's almost like an explanation for how he is in the older movies in terms of his lack of connection, especially with females. It's like this whole thing with what happened with Vesper is why he doesn't allow himself to get attached. Even though he struggled to get attached before, and they made comments about that in these 2 movies, clearly he still did. And so I think that it's kind of showing that that's why, as a more established agent, because it's not like all these movies take place in one timeline, but this is focusing more on his early days, whereas a lot of them focus more on his middle to end of his career. So it's just kind of showing how he gets to that point of just seeing them basically as objects rather than people.
It's establishing, how deep the roots of his trust issues go.
Right.
And also, he's just trying really hard. He's trying so hard not to have feelings. because feelings are bad.
Yeah, I mean they are for the job. Because there's the whole thing with Mathis, where he thought Mathis betrayed him in the last movie. He like had him tortured, and then we learn in this movie that Mathis was actually innocent the whole time, and so they work together again. But then Mathis dies, and Bond just leaves him in a dumpster.
Yeah.
And then they have the Quantum. We learned the name at the very end. Earlier in the movie, it's revealed that they have infiltrated MI6, and M's private bodyguard was part of it. So he doesn't even trust people within his own organization. Other than M, he still seems to trust her.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't trust women that appear to be interested in him. He doesn't trust his own agents. He doesn't trust people that are supposed to be colleagues. Seems like he still trusts Felix. Even though when he talks to Felix, Felix is lying to him, but he can tell, and they work it out. It's very weird.
Yeah, he has a lot of trust issues, and then he also doesn't know how to be compassionate at all, or like empathetic.
Yeah, he almost shot Camille in the head as his way of, when they were trapped in the hotel and it was burning because her family died in a fire, she was like, no, not this way. And like, instead of actively looking for a way out, it seemed like he was just gonna kill her.
Yeah.
Which, like, he wasn't gonna kill himself, so he was still gonna try to find a way out. But he was just gonna, like, kill her and leave her behind and then find his own way out. And then it happened to the wall crumbled and he saw this other thing that just so happened to happen right then.
Well, she also was like, I don't want to die in a fire.
Right, but
I mean, he didn't know that he wasn't going to die in a fire.
But he would have not.
It's a lot easier to look for a way out for yourself when you think you're both going to die. If one of you dies, or like if she passed out, he wasn't going to like carry her on his back.
I think.
While looking for a way out.
I think a version of him would have. Right? He would have done that for Vesper in the last movie, if that happened. Right? So I think that shows how far he's fallen.
Yeah.
He doesn't try to, like, snap her out of it. He doesn't try to, get her to follow him and then realize that she's, like, he's just like, okay, she's not...
Because he doesn't care about her
right.
that way.
Which is really messed up.
A little bit, yeah.
He goes rogue again.
He does go rogue again.
I don't think he retired in this one, though.
No.
Although, yeah, I don't think so.
However, he goes rogue, and M knows he went rogue, and then after, like, when he initially goes rogue, she's like, I trust him. He's my agent. Like, she knew he was gonna do this. Which at this point she should, but still...
It's almost like...
She suspended him
It's almost like she's going through the motions of what she has to do as her job, but she's, like, glad that he's finding ways around it because she knows that he's doing his job, too.
Or, like, maybe she knows, like, for him to work his best...
he needs to be disciplined.
Yeah, he needs to be...
That may also be.
He needs to go rogue by himself. He needs to do it on his own rather than given orders to do it.
Right. Have you noticed a trend with the names of the villains in these movies?
There was Mr. White.
Uh-huh.
There was Dominic Green.
Uh-huh.
And what was the bloody eye?
So his name was Le Chiffre, which means the number, which does not fit the trend. But there's another name that does fit the trend.
Is it red?
There was a Mr. Slate, which is like gray. So a bunch of the villains just have colors as their names. I don't remember if that continues. I don't, and I looked up the sheep because I knew it meant the number, but I was like, is it also a color? And I don't think it is. But like, clearly that's not a coincidence. I don't remember if it continues into Skyfall. It's just like, it's like Clue. All the characters are colors. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know why they did that.
Clue.
I've only played Clue once, and it was with you.
Yeah.
And I lost.
Who won? Who is
Vicky?
Vicky was playing with us?
Yes.
Who was here?
It was you two and me.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
We played Clue, and I didn't know how to play. And I kept asking Vicky, can I do this? Does it make sense to do this? And she was like, yeah. And I think the whole time she was leading me towards failure so that she could win, which is what happened. Anyway, any other thoughts on Quantum of Solace? Any weird... Okay, so in the first movie, you thought it was weird that a girl cried in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, we have a girl crying in a fire. Comment below
They were very wet.
if you've ever cried in a fire.
They were very wet in the fire. Like,
the sprinklers were going off.
Everyone was wet, and it was hot, and I didn't understand what was happening. It was a lot of wet fire.
Wet fire. Isn't that the name of one of the characters in that terrible Space Jam movie?
No, what?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Terrible Space Jam movie.
Yeah, the new one.
Oh, I haven't seen the new one yet.
Don't.
Don't. So...
Do you... Okay, so knowing, because I told you last time, that Casino Royale is considered the best, and this is considered the worst, does that track?
I haven't seen the other two yet.
Does this feel significantly worse than Casino Royale?
It was just a lot less exciting because it wasn't so much an action movie as it was James Bond getting over his feelings and having them.
I found it a lot more straightforward than the first movie. Like, I could follow what was happening more.
Well, yeah, because there was 14 minutes of chase.
Right. But also, like, the first one had Mr. White and Mr. Slate and Lashif, and then all these other terrorists that Lashif was funding.
Yeah, he was chasing a lot of people, and, like, once he killed one, he would start chasing another.
Right.
For some reason, it was a lot.
In this movie, it was basically Green and the General.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. So I don't think that necessarily makes it better, but I appreciated that it was easier for me to follow.
This one was less complicated, also less action-packed, also less gadgets.
Also,
and less cars.
This was made during...
And less girls.
There were still two. He just didn't really get with either of them.
How dare James Bond not have...
I don't think he got with that other one. I don't remember.
No,
this
he did.
was...
He got with the red-haired chick that you said was Bond.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
Yeah, he kissed her back.
Okay.
Like she was laying on her stomach, propping herself up like on the bed, and then he kissed her back.
Okay, I believe you.
Or her shoulder or something. I don't.
Would it surprise you to know that much of this movie was written by Daniel Craig? Not because he's a particularly good writer or he particularly wanted to, but because it was done during the writer's strike and they couldn't get anyone else to write it. So it was like they were writing it as they were shooting it. Like him and the director, I think, were kind of just writing it as they went.
So maybe it's bad because Daniel Craig.
But I think that's probably why it's so straightforward. Is because they were just like, okay, what happened before? Okay, that happened. Okay, so let's continue with that.
He's projecting his feelings onto James Bond.
Who, Craig?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig hates doing these.
Hates doing the James Bond movies?
I mean, I don't know if he did.
He's projecting his own real life feelings onto James Bond, though. That's what I'm saying.
Just like not wanting to do anything.
Yeah.
Being mad at everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if he hated it back when this one was made, but the last couple, he's been over it. Anything else?
Why does Daniel Craig want to? Why does Daniel Craig keep doing James Bond movies then?
His contracts, I assume.
Contracts?
Yeah.
Why does he hate doing them?
I think they're a lot of work, and they get highly criticized by people like me. And I think he would just rather do things that are less physically strenuous and more fun.
Daniel Craig is James Bond. If you're seeing this, I'm kind of into your movies. Like, I'd rather watch you than the other James Bond, I think, and I don't...
Oh my goodness.
Well, apparently the old ones are boring. I've heard that they're boring.
Well, we'll get there.
And Daniel Craig is kind of hot, not gonna lie, so...
I think we'll get there.
I don't recall what the other James Bond...
I don't like the Roger Moore ones, and unfortunately he's done the most. But so the Sean Connery ones are pretty good. I like Pierce Brosnan as Bond, but most of his movies are bad. Or at least the more recent ones were really bad.
Half of this video is gonna be me yawning.
Well, then let's end it.
Well, no point in ending it right now, because I've already yawned through most of it.
But if we don't have anything more to say, then...
I can't think... Let me...
Let her think.
Let me think. You have to edit it anyway. You can edit this out. So... Gadgets, girls. There's a lot more semi-automatic / automatic weapons in this one. Oh, show.
Yeah, a lot of the action in the first one was hand-to-hand, or little tiny knives, or
a lot of the
poker.
Yeah,
games.
so instead of melee / hand-to-hand combat, as was in the first one, this one has a lot more explosions and loud guns. And explosions.
A lot of explosions at the end. One of the other ones, I think the fourth one, has what was at the time the largest on-screen explosion in movie history. So we'll have to see if it lives up to the hype. I think we're good. You good? Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye. Hey everybody, Sam Tom here. Just wanted to let you know that I have 2 channels. If you're watching my music content, I also have a movie channel where I talk about movies and TV shows. If you're watching my movie content, I have a music channel where I do song covers, instrument demos, things like that. So feel free to check that out. Obviously, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that YouTube stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.